Hey folks, Clismall Designs here, and this is part 10 of the Tamiya 1/32 scale F-16 Fighting Falcon build. So at this point, I would say we have an airplane. It's come together fairly nicely. Now, a few little nicks and knacks still need to go on her, and then of course the canopy. That's a fairly large piece, but that's going to be a process in itself because the canopy has that seam line that goes right across the middle. So that's going to take some sanding and some doing. So that's a fairly big piece that still needs to go on it. But other than a few little pieces here and there, we pretty much have an airplane. And then of course after this is done, we're going to move to the diorama portion of the build, and then we're all done. So let's just take a tour and see what we've done since the last video. So as you can see right off the bat, we have the nose cone on there. Now the pitot tube, that is the aftermarket one I decided to use because the kit one, I found that was a little too skinny. So the aftermarket one is, I would say, the more correct size. So I can try and get in there. And then of course the radar dish, that is the photo etch part that comes with the Tamiya kit. So that's a fairly nice addition. It does move back and forth, so it's not stationary. So if you wanted to move it back and forth, you can. Same thing with the nose cone there. There is a little white piece. I can see if I can get in there. If you see that little white piece down there, that can be taken out, and then you could close the nose cone if you wanted to. But I have it poised open. And then the painting of the inside there, it's the same technique I used for the tail there on the inside, using the green and mustard color paint to paint the inside there. So if you go back to one of the first videos of the F-16 build, it's the same technique. I used the green, pearl green, and then mixed it with the mustard color paint to achieve that color. If you were planning to have the nose cone open anyway. If you're not planning on having any interior detail of the inside of your nose and you're just having it closed up, then you can omit pretty much that whole step and just glue that to that, and then you're done. Then of course we have attached these parts on the side piece, and then this piece, it's all attached now, obviously, as you can see. And then we're attached the side walls on the inside, and of course the whole cockpit assembly is all finished, as you can tell. We've actually started the decaling, as you can see, some of it anyway. I did order some aftermarket decals that haven't arrived yet, so that'll come at a later date, obviously. And then once we're done with that, we'll seal them all in, and then we'll get rid of that sheen, obviously, and we'll get that painted on look. And then as you can see, we've attached that piece that, if you go back a couple of videos that I was telling you about, where it kind of that, I guess it's not I don't know what you call it, but the panel anyhow, it's all closed up over top the gun there. So it's all attached. And then of course this panel here, we'll have it on the diorama where it's sitting on the ground. Same with this panel where it's sitting on the ground. So it's coming along really nice. And of course we attached the light there, and then the other side we'll get to it where it's all attached. There's still a few more pieces. Obviously there's a piece to go on there. We have the air brakes to go on. There's the decal right there that we put on. More decals obviously for the tail will go on. And of course we have attached this piece now to this. In the last video this wasn't attached here, but it's all on there now. I did add another detail. You might not see it here because of the lighting. But if you look right there, I added another wire to make it more accurate. Once I do the finished videos, you'll see what I'm talking about in the finale. But if you see that black piece right there where the silver meets the green, just to make it more accurate. So continue on here. So obviously we're going to have the air brakes in here. We're going to probably have them open just to give more detail. Not too sure if I'm going to keep that decal on or not. Depends on whichever unit I decide to do. I can easily just scrape that off if I decide not to go ahead and use that. And then there's the other light on that side there. Let's see if I can get more of the cockpit detail in there. Once I get the canopy going, there'll be some more detail obviously to go on in the cockpit, right? Because the canopy itself has, once it's locked open, there'll be some detailing going on there, and then some more on the side walls of the canopy. And once the decals go on and they're sealed, then we can start some of the weathering as well on the F-16, because right now it looks like it's a brand new F-16. Then we could start, doing some of the shading and, a little bit of the weathering, make it look like she's been used a bit in combat. And there we go. Let's see if I can get some of the lighting inside the cockpit here for you. So it's coming together really nice, at least in my opinion. Let's see if I can get some lighting for the front for you. So yeah, very happy with how that all turned out. So obviously you can tell there's still a few things left to go on it, right? I mean, there's still some vacant holes there, and there's some stuff to go on there, but it'll all come together. But so far so good. And then the diorama portion of the build will start, and then we're off to the races on this one. Like I said, I bought the 1/32 scale F-16 from Academy. And we'll see a few of those parts being placed more so on the outside of the plane for the diorama, and that's where you're going to see most of the Academy parts come into play, especially like the figures and like the drum for the F-16. I was thinking about cutting this part open right here and placing the drum, but I decided against it because I was already too far along with the build. But I think what I'll do is I'll have it on the outside of the plane, because the diorama I'm thinking of is actually having not only the engine being removed, with some figures doing that, but actually having it set up to make it look like the gun is going to be undergoing some kind of maintenance. Because if you go back to my videos, I actually bought an aftermarket set that was actually going to have this whole setup here being metal. But because of fit issues, I decided to use the kit parts. So I'm actually going to have the barrels set out here, and I'm going to have the drum from the Academy kit right here, and then make it look like this whole weapon system is going to be undergoing some kind of maintenance. So it's going to look kind of cool, at least in my opinion. So just stand by for that. That's going to be coming once we start the diorama portion of the videos. So there we go. So that's the progress thus far on the 1/32 scale Tamiya F-16, and we'll just continue on from here, guys. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Look forward to your comments. Bye.